Welcome to that lovely show. Interactive show where you say if you call in, ask questions, and you bunge we sabi on top property matter on no other person but engineer Adejana Debo. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chief. How are you this morning?
I'm quite okay. I'm fine.
You are like sounding very cool.
Yes.
Is the rain affecting you?
I'm a soccer for rain, so me I dey like rain. I perform more during the rain.
Really? That's interesting. That's interesting. Good morning, viewers. I believe that you've been enjoying the program, and we are here again to give you another interesting topic. Yes.
Yes, the one we will carry come today now. The one will be say everybody don't they talk about him. Yes, it's everywhere. As the election draws nearer, the price of things self it don't they change. You all know what a dollar they cost today now. So one check inside property world now. Make engineer Debo even explain to us what they shell for their own world. Share the way it take be for pepper and fish for market. Share now so it take be for inside property world. That is property market during election period. Is it the time to be more speculative? Is it the time to buy more? Is it the time to sell more? All these things now go open with eye to and we'll go learn one or two things. Trust me. Engineer Debo,
yeah.
Waiting property market look like?
Waiting they solve.
Waiting they solve.
For inside property.
Shazi kwati rani.
For this time.
Shazi kwati tani.
Abi.
She time to hold on ni.
Abi.
How the market it take be?
Okay, well, let's start from this season, which is a political season for us in Nigeria. Okay, we are going to go into election in February and March next year, so, and it's almost cyclical for us. It's typical of any election, year preceding election, okay, for some things to happen. If you've watched our past episodes, especially when we talk about the importance of real estate investment and why people should do real estate investment, I usually say things when I hold trainings and things like that. I tell people that real estate is the bank of the rich and sensible. Real estate is the bank of the rich and sensible. So if you are not rich but you are aspiring towards being rich, being wealthy, or you are sensible, you start to find how to put your money in real estate, because now in the help protect our money from inflation or from all these challenges where economy they go through. Where we say money where you keep inside real estate, now in safe pass. You understand? Aha. So, and people that are going for elections, our politicians and all, they are educated and exposed people. So, they would have put their money in properties, no doubt. And now that you need money, for any investor, when you put your money somewhere, when you need it, you offload that thing to be able to advance with whatever you need it for. So we will find that in this type of season, when politicians are preparing to go for election, they need financial resources as much as possible. You understand? So what happens is that they sell their properties. They sell some of their properties to be able to raise these funds that they require to prosecute their political ambition. You understand? So, in that effect, we kind of always have what you call a glut in the market, meaning that there are more properties usually around this period in the market that are up for sale than people that have the resources to buy them, the resources and reasons why they want to buy. You understand? So there's usually that glut. And when glut occurs, it kind of becomes opportunistic for people who have cash and are ready to buy. So it's usually what we call a buyer's market.
A buyer's market.
Exactly. So now waiting with the experience now be say, person will get money, we won't buy property. If he price and die. If you price and die, because most people will get property where they put out there, they know they see people price them like they see before. It don't fall small because there are so many properties in the market versus people that are able or ready or need to buy.
Could this be because most of this property you are talking about are usually in the, there's what they call these high spot areas, or there's a name you people use for, they are usually in the, maybe the center of the city. Would that be
No,
the reason?
I won't say center of the city. Not
Because
necessarily
most especially
so.
the Ikeja, Ikoyi.
Not necessarily so. So maybe what you are doing is you are limiting the political space, for example, that we are using for this point to within Lagos.
I'm also looking at
You must
even in
realize
Abuja,
that
we are talking
you
about
must
the
realize
center of the
that
center.
there is politics going on in Kebbi. There is
I'm
politics
talking
going on in
about
Osun State.
in all these
There's
places,
yeah.
in all these places,
Yeah.
everything where they go once say, I am
Go
just
be in
asking.
the centers of those places.
The center, yeah.
Well, so this is what happens. It's not necessarily so. However, you see, there are processes that people go through in making decisions. If I really need money badly, and I have a number of properties that I can pick from which one to fling, as it were, and I really need the money to be able to achieve more in life, I may also have to settle for the property that people will need more.
Sure.
You understand? So, and based on what I need, what I have. So, depending on the portfolio that a prospective seller is carrying, that is, and the need for the sales is what will inform which property to bring out to the market and say, help me, I beg, help me sell this up. Because you want, if you really need the money and you want something that will go, you bring probably one of your top property. It may not be the topmost, but at least the one that you know, if it lands in the market today, you know, kò ní máa crawl, kò ní máa wọ́nlẹ̀, ó máa lọ lórí eré.
And so if I hear you well now, we are starting off by saying now it is the buyer's market. So anybody will get cash for one now, make it get ready to buy option a day where.
It's a good time to buy because it's a good time to negotiate prices. Yes. So that's one of the major things happening in the property market. That's on the so that said, you wanted to say something?
I just want to ask a question.
Okay, go ahead.
The next question I want to ask now is the current price of dollar. Say they affect property.
So I'm coming there.
Okay, sir.
I'm coming there. Now look at it this way. Let's still trace our steps back a bit. Before we got to this year, we were dealing with something as a nation and even the world. COVID.
Yes. Pandemic.
The pandemic. The effect of it on economy all over the world is still there.
Ben.
Do you understand? In one way or the other. So this cash, so that you can see the what is really happening, is why I'm playing out these scenarios. So unlike other election years that we've had before, okay, or pre-election year that we've had before, where there was no pandemic or no other difficult economic situation preceding the year before election.
I understand.
This one, we've already entered some difficulty financially before we now even got here. So that cash availability to buy property is really squeezed. Limited. Is what I'm telling you. So that is also what is happening. You know, we are feeling the impact of the COVID in some way economically, such that money available to really buy property is not so much there as it were. I mean, as it used to be, or as it could have been under a normal circumstance. So that's another thing happening.
Because the stock market is muted in performance too, for now.
The whole economy is affected now.
Okay, you don't hear
one way or the other. The whole economy is affected.
He said the way we take do election before we be say pandemic no day. He said different from the way we go do this time around vis-a-vis the prices of things. What will they look at now to see how property market take be in relations to this election where they prepare for, and it don't clear or say buyers they could not come on board, properties go day where amo the cash she dey in circulation like that. Now Property Matta na you dey watch on top WAP TV, and it's important to let you know say our WhatsApp line itself dey very open for video calls. That is, if you call us, and if you call us, we're going to look you for a big screen like this, can they follow you talk. Very, very sight beholding, if you ask me. And make you know say we need to turn down the volume with on top of our TV so that we'll go enjoy the discussion, the conversation. Any question as far as it is related to Property Matta, make we tram to Engineer Debo and go chest them, can do justice to Ram. Now the WhatsApp line I they see for your screen, so feel free to Skype us also, and you can also call in, but please turn down the volume on your TV set. Property Matta, with the one what they do today, now property market during election period. You gave a quote. You said real estate is the bank of the rich and sensible. I believe say people at home don't pen that one down.
Yes, sir.
The bank of the rich.
The bank of the sensible and rich. That's it. That's where you put the money.
And
That's
the
where
people
you
will
save
better.
your money. That's where your money is safe. Yeah, that's where your money is safe. So, as we're saying, you know, when you say I will chest it, I just pictured myself in my heydays.
When they play ball.
Playing football. As if I played. As if I really played like that. Okay, so we've talked about COVID. Another thing happening is, don't forget that the whole world is also feeling the impact of the Russia-Ukraine war.
Yes.
Okay? It's causing a lot of distortion in our economy, fuel-wise.
Diesel-wise.
We know what diesel is now.
Yes.
You know, and you know, this is a basic production input, such that with the increase in diesel, it has ripple effects
on every
on
other.
a lot of other things, such that, I mean, inflation now, for example, it's like 18 points. June inflation is 18.6. We're still complaining about it has just, it's kept increasing. May was 17.71. I think April was 16 point something. So
it's going progression now.
Yes, we're just increasing, you know, and it's becoming, so we have that effect of the Ukraine war. I mean, Ukraine-Russia war, which is causing some distortion in our economy, such that the purchasing power of people have been seriously impacted.
Sure.
A lot of people's income have not really matched up to the level of increase in prices or inflation that we've experienced. So meaning that they have less money to chase the same amount of things that they used to chase. When we say less money, in value.
In value.
It has remained, like, if your money has remained 100,000 naira, for example, in the last 2 years, if your salary is static and it has been 100,000 in the last 2 years,
the purchasing power of 100,000
what
2 years
used
ago
to buy 2 years
can't
ago,
buy
it
it now.
cannot buy it now. In fact,
definitely.
I hope it can buy half of it
Half
now.
of it now.
Do you understand?
I pray.
So, you know, so that is the impact. So somebody that was collecting
a tuber
100,000,
a tuber of yam goes for 3,000 now.
you've joined the tuber of yam gang.
And just by January we dey buy am 1,000 1,200.
You can imagine.
Good morning.
You can imagine.
Good morning, sir.
How you dey, sir?
One, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Any question for the engineer?
So, I just want to ask you whether you can get property in Kaduna.
Kaduna, if he has properties in Kaduna.
We can talk after, I mean, we can note our number. I think my number will
Please
be
help
projected.
flag Engineer Debo's
Note my
detail.
number and please send a chat to us. We can always help you get anything you want.
Okay, that's his details on the screen. Please feel free.
So let's chat after the program. You can always do
better.
that. Thank
Better.
you. Yeah, so as we're saying, so there is that inflation.
From
There is
Russia,
the
Ukraine
FX that you are
cuts
talking
across.
about. Okay, there's the FX that you are talking about. Naira, as at, I don't know today now, but as
Well,
at Friday,
700.
over the weekend, somebody was saying 658.
I was hearing 700
When?
as at Monday.
As in yesterday?
Yes, I was hearing 700.
I hope not.
I was hearing 700.
I really hope not. So you can imagine, and the exchange rate is 4.15, I think.
Okay.
So you can imagine that, I mean, that has also continued to increase, you know, and that has its effect, meaning that that will force a lot of people to start thinking about how to secure their wealth, okay, or their resources against FX devaluation, you know. So rather than probably even think of buying property here now, they may, if they want to buy property, they may be thinking of buying property outside of the country, in dollarized economy like US, for example.
Okay.
Because they believe that Naira
The
is
stability of the dollar.
devalued, you know, every time. So you can imagine. And now the advantage of that in a way is for the Nigerians in diaspora.
Okay.
They are now better positioned to actually buy properties in Nigeria. So for any knowledgeable realtor, agents, broker and all, you know that your searchlight is now
Should be beamed to the...
beamed to Nigerians in diaspora because they are the ones with the economic power right now. For every day that dollar is rising, they are getting into better and better situation to be able to buy property down here. So for some of them who have reasons why they should buy properties here, this is the right time to market them. And that is also happening. So if you have properties that are up for sale, you know the kind of people you want to be pitching it to. So it has its negative side. It also has its positive side. I mean, yesterday was Nigerian Diaspora Day, and I understand the Honorable Abike Dabiri was saying that the inflow that we got from Nigerians in diaspora as a nation last year, was it $20 billion? Yes. $20 billion. You can imagine that's like a major percentage, a significant percentage of our GDP.
Sure.
So they are a force to reckon. Inflow from that end is a force to reckon with in our economy. So as someone who is into properties, you want to beam your searchlight in that direction. Now, going further, just to talk about this economic indices and what it has cost. Recently, the CBN increased the monetary policy rates.
Okay.
To 13% from about 11.5.
To 13%.
The implication of that is that interest rates will go up.
Most definitely.
You understand?
Most definitely.
When interest rate goes up, it means that more and more people would not want to take loan.
Yes.
So the economy will be stalled in a way because
there's no money in circulation.
Yeah, there won't be infusion of spending. There won't be
Liquid
spending as it should be or as it has always been. In fact, people who have loan now, some of them, if they can pay down, they'll be thinking of how they can pay it down so as to avoid the kind of rates, that is now the new rate. So all of this has impact, and all of these are happening, unfortunately.
Pre-election
year. So pre-election year, like we started with, has its own peculiarity. You can now imagine when all of these other things are now attendant at this season.
They are the guests at the party.
Yes, so and they are eating the buffet seriously.
Yes, so you don't hear waiting.
They are calling for drinks and all of that.
I'm telling you, you don't hear waiting. Engineer Debo don't take us through. Most especially as we prepare for the election, it don't make us realize say number one, na time we buyers suppose shine their eye because property go dey market where if you have the wealth without to do that, you can always purchase. If you have the purchasing power, yes. Then it don't also advise realtors and people will say they be oga on top this property things. So say now they do chop. He say it good to make you no limit your scope of business to Nigeria. Calling your brothers in Ikoyi and VI alone. He said, beam your light to the international world. That is, if you get friends for America, for London, why not chat them up? Because this time around, he said, then go get what they call purchasing power to buy these things, considering the rate of dollar vis-a-vis naira. So you don't advise realtors, you don't advise we self will be buyers. And you don't even talk about the current one where they share that is the Ukraine-Russia war where they go on as they take affect situations. You talk about CBN too. About CBN.
Yeah. So there are other two things I would just like to
brush
on before we go. So there is generally in our own country, it's getting better, hopefully, but during election period, there is usually the hell of uncertainty.
Yes.
People are not sure who will come to power, for example, and what their economic policies and all of that will be. So this pre-election year, people hold on. Ordinarily, they just slow down to say, okay, let's sit down, look.
It's as funny as even 2 days to election, people stockpile food at home. Because they don't know
what will happen that week, that day, and all, So right now, people are not really that aggressive in terms of investing, pursuing business, and all of that, because they are just, a lot of them are just in hanging.
Let's wait on the fence.
Waiting to observe mood. Just watching. Mood. So that also means that there is really. The volume of economic activity is not really that much.
Because a lot of things will change in the corridor of power.
Yeah.
We know that.
And then lastly, for this topic, is the fact that in recent times, the kind of exodus we've witnessed in this country is just alarming. I was discussing with someone, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday, that for me now in the last 12 months, there is hardly any month, I doubt, or even week that I don't hear of someone I know, or either as a friend or acquaintance, or some former colleague or something that is relocating or has relocated.
Yes.
You understand?
True that,
So
true that.
before people travel, yes, but a lot of times the most that travel are the ones that really can't find something to do here, don't have the economic power, and they are trying to explore possibilities out there.
Not somebody who is doing well.
But here, what is happening now is that people that have the small middle class and upper class that we have are the ones really moving in mass, their family and all. So, and when they move like that, they move with their economic power. You understand? So we are even having fewer and fewer people that are in the country that can
muzzle this.
You understand? So that is also happening, because that is riding on the back of politics, riding on the back of uncertainty, riding on the back of the inflation the world has experienced, riding on the back of all these other things that are happening. And so these are really the things happening currently, and that are informing the markets and affecting the market one way or the other. But if you study them very well, you can always find a way out for yourself.
Make a careful approach.
Yes, and you can always know exactly what to do and how to go about it to ensure that you survive this period.
Yeah, so surviving this period, most especially property-wise, because as some people, they complain, say money no day. And some people, they collect the contracts where then they jubilate, say money don't come.
Yes, sir.
Our people talk, say life na mbri kambri, nobody, as person they talk, saying they broke now. Some people, they celebrate their millions.
Yes,
so you have to just be wise about it. He don't even tell us, say, in terms of investment too, say, may we shine our eye where most investors this time around, then they hold on, because we cannot predict waiting officially for the corridor of power. And on top of that, please, if you have any personal questions, dealings you want to do with him, his detail is always on the screen. Feel free, call him after the show and he will respond. That is Engineer Debo. He will respond well to you. For all other programs too, where they come up from WAP TV, our WhatsApp number day on the screen. Feel free, call. We're going to talk to ourselves. Because television, now in the column. Let's visualize ourselves.
That's a very good one.
Yes, so Engineer Debo, I want to say a very big thank you for this. We've been able to learn a lot of things today, most especially for me. Real estate is the bank of the rich.
Yes, sir.
And the sensible.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so most definitely, till we will come your way again next week. Please let us stay safe, let us be prudent, and let us always be investment oriented. My name is never change. I still Chief Olododo.
And I remain yours sincerely, Engineer Debo Adejana.